Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Pam, our treasurer from Fire Safe Council, is also here on the call to help me with any chat or admitting anyone to. And this is, I think, the 11th session of Firewise 101 in office hours. And I'm really proud of this program and everyone coming out and asking some questions and getting to know more about Firewise. And my name is Jennifer Valadez, and I'm the project manager for Fire Safe Council for Monterey County. And today's session will be a general overlook of resources available to you as a Firewise USA member or interested or just community member in Monterey County. And I'll also touch on some upcoming legislation in the CAL FIRE new campaign or new educational outreach campaign. So some general housekeeping before we fully dive into the meat of today's session. This session will be recorded and available on YouTube after. I tend to do around 24 hours after, maybe a week after, so look out for that. And we hold office hours at the end of the session for any Q&A not related to the primary material and also related to the material. Our website is firesafemonterey.org. Check it for resources and upcoming events. We like to update the calendar that's there. And speaking of events, we have several events coming up in Monterey County related to wildfire. So Carmel prepares on April 25th at the Sunset Center. There's also the Carmel Valley Flower Show. That's not until May. And the Rancho Romitas Firewise community. They're having a meeting at the Aromas Grange on the 15th. Also on the 15th, Fire Safe Council of Santa Cruz County is having a Firewise Brush Busters model explanation meeting, and that's over Zoom. And Fire Safe Council holds their monthly board meeting the last Thursday of every month. For April, it is the 30th. And I think today's session's a little on the larger side. So if you like, please wait until the end for questions or drop them at the chat as we go along. Turn off your camera if you do not want to be recorded. There's also a post-meeting survey that's optional and a pre-meeting survey that's optional, but greatly appreciated to help, kind of formulate these sessions. And for office hours, remember to be mindful of everyone's time, and then feel free to contact us after if you have any questions offline. So the agenda, as mentioned, pre-meeting survey, optional, and I'll launch it in the next few minutes. We'll go over community roles, the steps to Firewise recognition, and then also launching our Firewise submission or initial submission handbook. Reminder of the renewal FAQ, kind of one document that we have. Go over our YouTube channel, Monterey Bay Firewise partners, and as mentioned, the CAL FIRE campaign and the new upcoming legislation that the California Department of Insurance is trying to get signed and move on to the process. And then we'll open up for office hours. So the pre-meeting survey I will launch very quickly. And it's mostly to get a feel for who's with us today. If you're familiar with Firewise, if not, your role and what you're looking to learn today. I think I'll leave it open for about a minute and a half or so. These surveys are also completely optional or anonymous. Sorry. Okay, it seems that a lot of people who are here today are already in a recognized Firewise site and are a leader. I think that last question should be updated. But anywho. Okay, then I'll end it now to just continue. Thank you for filling it out. And we saved those just to get a better feel for the session today. Okay, so now I'll cover some community roles. So everyone, including Fire Safe Council and fire authorities, have a role in making their community firewise. Residents generally drive the effort while the Fire Safe Council is there to support with tools and resources. And fire authorities generally help with just providing the fire expertise, such as the risk assessment, assistance, any defensible space inspections, and also generally just building a partnership to provide that wildfire expertise. And in CAL FIRE, or the branch of CAL FIRE, they are supporting Firewise USA communities, and it's part of their wildfire preparedness strategy. So there's a great incentive to support Firewise communities at every step, or in general, just supporting. So it's really a collaborative effort with this common goal for wildfire resiliency. So this slide is a lot to take in, but is a snapshot overview of the entire process for Firewise recognition. Many of you are already Firewise, so maybe not too relevant. You've gone through this process, and Fire Safe Council for the last year or so has been working to make this process a little bit easier to take in, and also to have less, not redundancy, but less.
One way to do it is as part of an HOA meeting.
Oh, yes.
If you had a guest.
So generally it's reduced to 6 key steps: forming a committee or board, or as mentioned, an HOA. You could always do it through the HOA and become a branch of that HOA, completing the risk assessment, creating a map, outlining the boundary, and NFPA usually request bigger is better, just to encapsulate more people and get the most work done. So then in the future, say you're at your 3-year action plan point and you would like to expand your boundary. If you've already made it bigger, then there would be no need. If you have to do that, then you'd have to go through the risk assessment process again, while also trying to renew your 3-year California action plan, which is step 3. And it's really specific to California, and CAL FIRE has that template on their website. You also want to report any wildfire risk reduction activities, and NFPA outlines those on their website as well. For examples, also hosting an annual outreach event, such as Carmel Prepares participating in that, such as the Aromas, the Rancho Ramitas community meeting that they're holding at the Grange. And like I said, it can be an HOA meeting where, say, a fire authority speaks, or Fire Safe Council. And then your last step would just be to gather all this information, all your documents, and apply it online. So I wanted to highlight a very new resource that Fire Safe Council has put together, thanks to Placer County, who originally developed it, and we adapted it for Monterey County. And it's really cool. I will share it here. Kind of a step-by-step for completing the application. And I'll also share this link in the chat for everyone to take a look at it and have for safekeeping for any potential or neighbors that are interested in Firewise. It has samples and examples of risk assessment and action plan. And also, what I think is really cool is having this resource landing page for materials. We have digital and printed materials, our YouTube channel, events coming up, and also the Department of Emergency Management's page that details local resources and local emergencies. So they have Alert Monterey, They also have their Project Genesis portal where you can check your evacuation zone. And also thank you to several contacts at Monterey County Regional, City of Monterey, Big Sur, Rayner, Shelley Redden for the California State Representative for CAL FIRE and Firewise. Monterey County Regional and North County have also provided some contacts for Firewise communities that are in those jurisdictions. And also for Shelley Redden, who's the CAL FIRE representative, California State Representative, she is who then approves your application or reviews it to make sure everything's correct and in order before sending it to NFPA. So this is really good contact to keep in mind if you have any trouble submitting it as well. And she's the one that usually provides the feedback. It's changed in the past, but I think she is the most current contact. Oh, clicked it again on accident. And I also wanted to highlight our Firewise USA renewal application. It's very early to start thinking about renewals, but I wanted to highlight this FAQ kind of and how-to document that we put together last year for renewals. They go step by step, kind of also like a bird's eye view of the process, and also some frequently asked questions that we gathered from these sessions and last year's sessions.
We'll have to do that for this year, won't we? Doesn't 2027?
Every year.
Yes.
But don't we? Oh, we just did the 3-year plan.
Yeah, every year we have to
Right.
file this thing, which I think she's calling renewal.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I can name
So
how many hours or dollars or.
Right.
yeah, so every year, if you applied this year and got approved this year, then you won't have to do it. But if you got approved last year, then this year you will have to do a renewal. And every 3 years, you update your California 3-year action plan form. And then every 5 years, you update your risk assessment form. So I wanted to highlight our YouTube channel, which is at FFC for Monterey County on YouTube. And I've posted every Firewise 101 session, including an introduction, FAQ, site mapping, risk assessment, and 3-year action plans are really useful and have lots of views, and I think are very useful for also renewals. So if you're doing a risk assessment, again, kind of rough to get back into the feel of it, since a lot of renewals that aren't those major 5-year or 3-year can be plug and play, gather your information, plug in, and let's go. But if you have to redo your risk assessment, I suggest reviewing our video, as well as reviewing the 3-year action plan video. We also have some on evacuations and also renewal workshops. Also, we have a series called Monterey Bay Firewise Partners Forums, where we've had like field experts talk about wildfire research, insurance discounts, as well as local alerts. You can see last week we covered CERT. And then our last Monterey Bay Firewise Partners Forum was with IBHS, covering the LA County wildfire research. And also we had a farmers insurance representative that covered some California Fair Plan discounts that are available to you as being Firewise and working on home hardening. And then the previous Monterey Bay Forum was on the CWPP for Monterey County. And yeah, lots of great resources and videos you can refer back to. Also, I highly suggest joining the Monterey Bay Firewise Partners Forum. It's a forum to post about Firewise related questions if anyone has encountered any similar issues. It's really a community group, and Fire Safe Council tends to post mostly on local wildfire news, like overarching news. Emergency news will be the best resource for emergency news would be Alert Monterey and the DEM. So Department of Emergency Management, local regulations, insurance, and any upcoming community meetings. Yeah, like I just posted about the South Bay Firewise partners, their April 15th Firewise Brush Busters model explained. So I can share this as well if you'd like to join. Also wanted to cover the CAL FIRE statewide safety campaign. I think they had one that launched earlier this year, even earlier this year. And they were calling it Your Home versus Embers Act Today. So really encouraging that ready, set, go model. So 3 easy steps or, overarching steps: preparing yourself, your property, and then preparing for evacuation. And they have this really great fire planner tool that helps you create a checklist for what you need to do. Yeah, getting personalized preventative steps, and also local active fires. That's something that Fire Safe Council doesn't specifically send out alerts on, but Watch Duty, Alert Monterey, also CAL FIRE will be your main point of contacts for active wildfires. What it would look like. And it takes like a comprehensive look at what you would have to do to prepare yourself, your property, and also preparing for evacuation. And lastly, I wanted to cover the Disaster Recovery Reform Act, and this is specific to insurance. The California Department of Insurance published a press release in January, and then just recently, yesterday, or I think this morning as well, they sent an email urging for support for this Senate Bill 876. And I wanted to cover some of the key provisions in the bill. So they're wanting to expedite claim payments to a 30-day deadline for the actual cash, build a stronger building code coverage, and then guaranteed replacement costs, boosting additional living expenses, contents coverage, and ensure accountability. I wanted to just take a look at the press release. This is from January, but they are, I believe, about an hour ago, it was in the Senate, and the Senate hearing or the committee covered it. Yeah, so they're looking to require a disaster recovery plan from insurers, and then doubling penalties during a declared emergency, and then addressing delays. So I think around now, we'll have a better idea of where that is. Cal Matters also has a good summary. So it seems like it was just introduced. The hearing was set for today. So we'll see how that goes. But just wanted to bring attention to this group who I think would be interested in that update. And now I can open the floor to office hours for anything Firewise, or to recover any resources that we have or that Monterey County has. And Karen, I think we can discuss your question now about,
We're checking.
Live Oak.
Period. All is well. Exclamation mark.
Thanks, Jennifer. I also note that it appears that in response to a letter that we wrote to Caltrans, although who knows, they're outside our fence cleaning up. It looks like they have 2 huge trucks here. They were on the other side of Highway 68 the beginning of the week, and now it appears that they are on our side, if you will, of the road. And they've got a big truck with something that looks like a mulcher on it. And I don't know. I mean, they left a lot of stuff on the ground after they did some tree, quote, trimming after the big storm earlier. in the year, and it's just laying there. But now it looks like they're actually cleaning some of it up, although they're still not cutting any of the they're like grasses that are
Mhm.
2 feet tall. But so we're just seriously beginning some of our Firewise work that's connected with our re-roofing project. And I keep hearing the rumor that Monterey County is revising some of its requirements for high fire hazard areas. And I'm wondering if that's just wishful thinking or whether you know of what's going on.
Yeah, so from my understanding, not Monterey County specifically is reviewing or revising the Zone Zero, but the Board of Fire and Forestry and Fire Protection is, and their next meeting is in a couple weeks. It is on April 23rd, I believe. So it's about 2 weeks from now, and they're resuming those meetings to determine the language for Zone Zero. But again, it was supposed to start to be implemented in January of this year, but they can't
Right.
come to an agreement. So I think we will have to look out for that 23rd meeting. I will actually look up the exact date here.
Is that a state agency?
Yes.
Could you tell me the name of it again? The Board of?
Forestry and Fire Protection.
Okay.
And I'm looking at their page now. Yeah, upcoming Zone Zero meeting on April 23rd. And after the LA County fires, CAL FIRE put out new maps for the state responsibility area and the very high fire hazard severity zones. And that new map should include some more people or some more homes.
Is there a way of sitting in on that meeting?
Mhm.
Yes, but I
Okay.
would warn you that they tend to be very long meetings since they take in a lot of public comment. So
That's okay. I'm a knitter.
okay. So you can register online. So I will share this flyer for anyone interested. Oh, it's a long link, but you can register online. Let me find the initial page.
Well, I guess I better wait a little bit before I figure out who I'm going to hire for my roof then.
Interesting. Yeah.
See, I think the same.
You know, I love getting this information, but I don't have a way of capturing it. I'm on an iPad. There's no way I can print it.
For the Zone Zero meeting or for this
For
meeting?
anything that you post in the chat.
Okay.
That's been my ongoing issue.
Well, I will make a note to send this webpage maybe through email with the video and the slides.
Well,
If
I
that works
appreciate
better.
that. You shouldn't have to do that. I think when you send us a copy of the slide deck,
Mhm.
if you could send us a copy of just all of the resources that you put in the chat, just take a screenshot of it or something, that would be really useful. Because then I have it
Yeah.
for more than 15 minutes.
True. Yeah.
But thank you. I guess my other question is there any plan for the Fire Safe Council to do any kind of advocacy, either with the county or with these individual districts that, I mean, for every tree we cut down, Pacific Grove wants us to plant 2 more. I mean, that's in their permit requirements. And I know Carmel has some issues. I don't want to align myself with Carmel and their issues, but we're dealing with local municipalities that are making it very hard to comply.
Yeah, I hear you. I think Pam has a hand raised for a comment on this.
The world is America. A ceasefire
Oh,
agreement.
sorry, you're still muted, Pam.
Can't hear you, Pam.
Sides declare victory. I think it was a very, very strong
Ah,
threat.
there we
that the
go.
United States that led the Iranian regime to.
I'm not
sorry,
sure
here's
who
someone
is
else's
on. Maybe we could
PV.
mute everyone else, please. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jennifer. I think it was Karen who asked that question.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Pam.
All right. That is a big issue. It is not something that we are unaware of, and it is not something that the Fire Safe Council has not been working on for as many years as I can remember in one way or another.
No success.
With little or no success. So it is continual. We are having a mid-month board meeting, and one of the things we will be discussing at that meeting are all of the rules and regulations that are currently posted and in place that inhibit homeowners like you from doing the fuel work that we are actually mandated to do through some of the programs we're involved on. We do have a more supportive county, the DEM is working on some of this. They're aware of it, but pushing back that huge curtain of rules and regulations that are in place is going to take time. But what's really important, Karen, is voices like you speaking up and letting them know that these need to be changed, that they are inadvertently or unknowingly or just in sheer denial or pure policy causing issues that actually can be very detrimental to the mission statement of the Fire Safe Council, which is to help protect lives, property, and the environment. So we will certainly be posting on that as we move forward with this, where we are. And Jennifer has an exceptionally large email list. If that is something that the Firewise communities would like to hear of, we'd be more than happy to include you because you can make a difference.
There's a page on our website.
Yeah. And there
It
is,
has at the bottom of the page,
hold on,
tells
wait
you
a
to
second.
contact your local, state, and federal legislators.
Okay. I'm not sure you heard that, but I was just being reminded that on our website, there is a page that gives you the links on how to contact your local, state, and federal legislators.
And perhaps with local elections coming up, we might
Good.
make even more of an issue of it. Thank you.
Well, we can't really do worse than where we are right now. So yes, definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
They are afraid.
May I speak for a few minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know how this works exactly. I know the topic came up about trees, of course, and we have a piece of about an almost 2-acre parcel, and it's on a very steep hillside. And we have had 4 massive trees come down just on their own over the last, 3 have come down in the last few months, and 1 more came down long before that, a few years before that, and have taken out fences, have taken out other trees. It's just, and here's the thing, trees are not sacred. These live oaks are so many. We have 60 or 70 of them, and we want to be able to cut them before, and they drop their acorns, thousands of acorns when it's the season. And of course they're going to reseed, and that's what trees do so well. And why are we trying to protect trees that we have too many? They fall on the hillside and they're dangerous, and so many things wrong with this picture that I hear other people commenting about also. So that's all I have to say about this, but I'd love to figure out how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. And well, for public comments, I can only really think of, and this I think will be later this year for the community wildfire protection plan that I think that's being worked on collaboratively. And Pam, I see you still have your hand raised.
Yeah, I'd like to respond to Barbara just briefly, if I may. I
Thank-
don't want to take up
thank
all your
you.
time, Jennifer. Barbara, where are you? Are you in a Firewise community or which?
I am in a Firewise community. We're off of Rancho Road. It's a circle. And all the roads lead almost to blind. They're just cul-de-sacs, basically.
So are you, I'm sorry, but
Go
I think
ahead.
what I meant was, are you in Pacific Grove, Carmel?
Oh, no, I'm in Carmel Valley, right
Okay.
near Lorelis Lodge. If you,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's where we are.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So each one of the areas have different, in many instances, many of the different cities and incorporated towns have different rules. Carmel by the Sea, Pacific Grove. So what you should do, or if you are willing, is to reach out to your elected representatives. In this case, Kate Daniels would be a good start.
Okay.
And voice your concerns. She is very aware of what's happening. She lives out there, but it takes a lot more than, just working on that. There are so many rules that are set up. So I think I'm going to capture, I don't want to take up Jennifer's time, but if you could put your contact information in the chat, I'll follow up with that. And we do have someone who's working on that and we can actually give you more information.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name?
I'm Pam Peck.
You're Pam Peck. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, just looking for the county of Monterey, Carmel by the Sea has different tree ordinances. And I believe, not sure where else has different tree ordinances, but looking just for county of Monterey, this is the housing and community development would be where you would be the landing page for all this, but it seems like an exhaustive process, but they lay it out. And I think they would have to determine it to be hazardous. So if you've had trees fallen in the past, then this little tab might be your best bet to remove more trees. If it is determined to be hazardous for your property, for fallen trees, if you have 4, I hope that it would be determined to be hazardous, and you hopefully will get that permit to not to remove it.
How do I access this particular form or this information without taking, I guess a photo wouldn't work. It's awfully small. So
Yeah, I can share this link with you or with everyone in the
Unknown caller.
chat. Or I can send it to you directly to here.
yes, that would be great. I guess did I give you my email address?
I sent it through the Zoom chat, meeting chat.
Okay,
Mhm.
I see. Okay.
And Carmel Valley, I believe, doesn't have its own specific rules. Here also has fire hazard management. Okay. For fire hazard management, it seems that you would need a tree removal permit application, a letter from a fire marshal, a site plan approved by the fire marshal, and there's no fee for this.
So I'm sorry, I'm not able to keep up with that, but yes.
Yeah, I'm just looking here what
Yeah.
might be your different options.
Yes.
So if there's a specific fire hazard
yes
with
I
one
got
of your
that.
trees or several of your trees,
Well, many
then
of the
this might be-
trees that are
Yes.
falling.
Yeah. So it seems like there's 2 different pathways.
And
So this might be
who
this
do
and
I
you might
get in touch
consider.
with? What's the company? What's the name of the group or the?
So this would be through the county.
Hmm.
It seems at the counter. So at the permitting counter, I assume. Yeah, permit
dear.
center under
Need
housing
permits
and
for this.
community development.
Ugh, okay.
Yeah, I hear it might be a long. Have you had a defensible space inspection by the county
Fire.
or by
Yeah, we've
I
had
think Cal
fire.
I believe?
Cal Fire has come out, and I think people look at our property and just go, ooh, oh well. I think there's it's so concerning. It is so concerning. And it's not just our property, but we have these adjacent properties with wild little streams that are running through and brush everywhere. And this is Bernardus is right connects to our property. And so that property has not been cleaned up on the other side of our fence. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
we
just asking because here a letter from a fire marshal
yes.
is also required. So if it's been determined that there's a fire hazard with any of your trees and it's been written within the defensible space inspection, that might be another backup document to show.
Okay.
And I see
All
here
right.
that there is no limit to the amount of removal. So I'm not
That's
sure if there
good.
would be compounding permits there, but this might be a good pathway to remove
All
some
right.
of them.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for your time and appreciate your help.
In the chat, there's a question. Many communities have limited evacuation routes, often one road only, leading to traffic jams at larger exits. Is CAL FIRE analyzing this problem? Can local fire agencies make recommendations? Okay, so the one or two communities that I can think of that have assessed the specific issue of evacuation routes and only one road out, I think that's what Rancho Aromitas in the Aromas Tri-County area has developed a one road out campaign with their Firewise. And let's see if I can find it. But I think they talked to CAL FIRE, their CAL FIRE person at the Aromas Tri-County Fire Protection District. And they have a campaign here. So what they've worked on is developing a neighbor to neighbor evacuation agreements. So if there's private property, then having the option in an emergency, of course, only emergency, to open any gates and determine any alternative evacuation routes. And it seems that they've engaged CAL FIRE, but I don't believe CAL FIRE specifically is assessing or analyzing the evacuation routes. Evacuation orders are usually called by the law enforcement. So the sheriff would be the point of contact for evacuation, but I'm not sure about the evacuation routes that are determined by the sheriff. But in the Department of Emergency Management, they have an extensive evacuation preparedness like handbook, and within that they encourage people to become familiar with their evacuation zone through the Project Genesis portal and keep a lookout for those alerts that come through Alert Monterey. And I think local fire agencies can recommend the neighbor to neighbor agreements, but I'm not sure just legally if they can recommend specific alternate routes. Yeah, there are a lot of caveats to this, such as the plans are not official evacuation orders, and they are really just for emergencies. And if that main evacuation route that's recommended by the county is jammed up and is not an option for people that are like very far or just now evacuating and are like in that traffic. Yeah, so this is the one, and I believe another community in Carmel Valley has also reached an agreement with some landowners to create another alternate route again, just in emergencies. But it is not like your first option when evacuating. Your first option would be the official evacuation order. Yeah, so they are hoping to do the evacuation rehearsals with CAL FIRE. So it seems that CAL FIRE, at least in Aromas Tri-County, is interested to support this. initiative, but I'm not too sure about any other agencies. Yeah, so if you are interested in how this campaign is being run and are in the area or have time, on April 16th, there's their community meeting at the Grange Hall. I believe it's usually pretty late. No, I guess they don't have the access here yet. It's usually around around 5:30. And we also had a board member of the Rancho Ramitas Firewise County or Firewise community present at one of our Monterey Bay Partners Forum, and he speaks very in depth on how they approach this forum or approach this form of evacuation routes. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, so it'd be on this video specifically. Yeah, it's right here at the 35-minute mark. And he goes very in detail on how that process was determined and how those agreements came to be and their plan and their timeline. They're a very organized group and they're pretty big here. You see they cover a lot, even up to the San Juan Bautista road here. So there's a bigger group effort, but yeah, that's one I can think of. Oh, and Pam just put in the chat for the link that you can scroll at the bottom for communicating with local representatives. Oh, I think I'll have to keep searching here in green. So search for the green box in that link that's in the chat for communicating with your local and state representatives for a letter of support or a letter to amend local, state, and federal laws if you're interested. Any more questions or comments on either evacuation routes, tree ordinances, any of the resources, and also all these tabs that I have open, I will gather on a page to be added to the slides. So all the links will be there and in live when I send out the materials used for this session.
Jennifer, hi, this is Dave Reynolds. I'm with Skyline Crest. We're a Firewise recognized community. Last year we started our first year, and our board took a few of the condos and removed virtually all the vegetation from 0 to 5 foot zero around these two condos to give an example of what it might look like. You know, as you might imagine.
Can he speak up? I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's a little muffled or a little unclear.
How many people are on this?
There were 16.
Is this any better?
A bit. I do have to turn it up a little bit, but
Got my volume up pretty high. But... That
yeah,
any better?
There we go. That sounds more clear. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, so we're a Firewise recognized community here in Skyline Crest, and our board did a few two condos that are together. We had a lot of junipers around them, so we removed virtually all the vegetation around these two condos in the 0 to 5 foot region and put in basically some small rock within that zone. And they're the only two condos that look this way out of 48 that we have. And so you can imagine they're not very happy, given they look a lot more denuded than everyone else. And it's not clear when the 0 to 5 foot legislation is going to come into law. and what exactly the law will state can or cannot be in that zone 0. So I was just wondering if you had any guidance as to how we should proceed, because they'd like to put in maybe some succulents or some low-growing plants in that zone 0 that would at least make it look somewhat green, but still maintain, some fire safety.
Flammable, indeed,
Mhm.
and 5 feet.
So right now, what the ordinances do say, not ordinances, but the language that's being developed in the slides and all that information is that the zone should be completely clear. But anything after the 5 feet, I think it has been recommended the low-lying vegetation, laddering your fuel. So anything that's low and separating it, plant separation is a big deal too. Pam, do you have any comments on this too?
I know. Hi, thank you very much. I understand the dilemma of the thought that you're going to be absolutely bare and spare, and that the exterior for your homes will not reflect how lovely the interiors are because they have been denuded of all of the plants. The Marin Fire Safe program has some excellent photos of what houses have done with the 0 to 5 space. And it's really quite attractive. And we will be doing the May 2nd and 3rd Carmel Valley Flower Show, and we're hoping to work with Granite Rock, who does a lot of the landscaping for many of the larger homes, smaller homes in the area. And they're very aware of 0 to 5. So we're going to be working closely with some of those. I think we can make attractive areas around your homes within the requirements that will be coming through, and know that the insurance companies are going to have a very strong say in how your insurance is approved or not approved with what happens with these landscape basics. And we will, as Jennifer had mentioned earlier, be putting together, we have a small little flyer right now that we will be increasing to a much larger handout for people. It is still in the works, but we're well aware of this. People want their homes to look attractive, but you will be required most likely to have 0 to 5 as far as plantings in that area. So we're just trying to prepare people for what can be, as I think it was David that said, you removed a lot of the vegetation. And I know Rich McLeod has done a huge amount of work in his Firewise community, getting rid of a lot of the junipers that were planted. So it's going to happen. We're going to try and make it easy for you and give you some alternatives that can actually help make your houses look attractive as well. So stand by for that.
Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Pam mentioned
could I mention also we've developed a folder. We have one of our Firewise committee working on mostly succulents and fire resistance plants. And we've developed a folder of what those plants look like and some of their properties. And as we go around, we're going around individually to the houses that are being re-roofed this year, to the residents, they're not houses, we're a PUD, and showing them these folders and enabling them to choose what they want around in the plantings. And also, I think the idea of pots in some of these places that might encircle the 5-foot limitation. So we're trying to sell it also with some factual and visual information that people can see in color. I think it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I think Jennifer has just posted some photos from, is that the watersheds?
this is Fire Safe Marin.
This is Marin. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, but they still keep this very clear and have low lying.
Yes.
Succulents.
Yes.
And Karen, pots are still questionable. They have waffled back and forth about putting pots that can be easily removed that have succulents in them or not. And this photo that Jennifer has got pots on the right-hand side under the windows. that may or may not be allowed. That's what I think this final determination is going to be.
Right. Understood. Thank you.
But I think most of this is geared primarily for the Richard McLeod had definitely an overabundance of flammable materials around most of the houses in his community and has made yeoman's work and a huge effort to get that removed ongoing. And I'm quite sure that he probably's hit some pushback from his community members. But remember, this is for your safety, and this is what the law is probably going to come down to. And the insurance companies are going to be looking at that, and either you do it or you possibly can lose your insurance if you've not already been threatened with that.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're working with Granite Rock.
Yeah.
It would be lovely if they could deal with some colorful rock as well.
Yep.
I think for a lot of our folks, they're just objecting to the fact that it's all gray or it's all brown or it's all beige. It just doesn't seem like any fun. So
Yeah.
I mean, not that I would want red, white, and blue rock around my house, but you know, a pretty lavender or a deeper lavender or blue, that might go a long way.
We can speak to Elizabeth about that and see what she's got up her sleeve.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, here's some multicolor
Yeah.
rock. This is just mossy. Yeah, we'll see what options they have. I'm not too sure what their catalog looks like when someone comes up to them and says, I want to build the Zone Zero. But at the Carmel Valley Garden Show, we're hoping to just bring in samples, like small samples that you can touch, get a feel for it. And I believe Elizabeth Ray, who's our main point of contact at Granite Rock, will also be providing some local examples of Zone Zero and defensible space that some of their contractors that Granite Rock has worked with has done for local homes.
That's a
Maybe
great
getting a feel
idea.
for local,
Yeah.
because Marin might look a lot different than Monterey County.
Well, and we have a wonderful supplier of succulents up near Castroville. I've totally dumped on their name, but I think getting the businesses involved with helping us solve this problem would be great.
Yeah.
Succulents were on the, have been sort of approved as less fire prone than other plants, but a lot of it comes back to, and I think Jennifer's information reflects this, is that the maintenance is really critical because underneath the succulents, they do leave a lot of duff and brush and dry materials, and they're not that easy to clean up under. So if you are putting succulents in, if it is allowed, you have got to maintain them.
Yeah.
Because they will burn just like anything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And remember, the big picture is your home and your family.
Exactly. Well, and we have to get rid of a lot of mulch.
Yeah.
And be aware of where our irrigation system is, because there's a huge amount of expense in changing that as well.
Agreed. Agreed. So actually, I'd love to come and take a look at what you're doing, if that's at all possible. So
well, we're just beginning to map it now.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to get rid of a lot of juniper, which I happen to hate. So I'm not unhappy about that. But we're working with our landscape company as well to see what's usable and available and to try to reorganize it. For us, we're doing one building at a time. We're doing 6 buildings a year. So I think we're going to be learning as we go.
Excellent. Excellent. And watch for our landscape. We will be making recommendations, hopefully before the end of the quarter, for plants to use in and around, or what you can use for this area, for these areas.
Well, great. Because PG has its own, climate or lack thereof. I don't know.
Yeah. Excellent.
What you call it, but at least it's not hot and dry.
Okay. Yeah. And as mentioned, the through line would be maintenance and really doing what's feasible for you. Plants that you're able to keep watered, hydrated, and maintained would be the best bet.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
And right now we're just a minute over. If there are any other questions or comments, if not, I can wrap this up, and any tabs I opened right here will be sent to you as well with the package of the video and the slides. So if you missed anything, I hope to just send it off there. All right.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. And I will stop my share now. And I can also stop the recording.